I have a question. I just bought recently a smart TV, and I'm wondering, is there a certain distance I should sit away from it? Would that, or does that emit a lot of radiation because it's a smart device?
Yeah, so good question. So I don't know what kind you have. In
It's a
some of
Samsung
them,
smart TV.
oh, Samsung. So actually, you can actually turn the wireless radiation off in the settings in
Really?
many
Oh.
models. If it's wired, so I don't know how it's connecting to whatever's giving it the signal. Is it if it's connecting with, if you have it corded with an Ethernet,
Yes,
is that how you have it?
I have to go check, but I believe so.
Then you actually can, in many models, turn the wireless off. In general, we tell people who if you're going to stick with their TV, we say have as much distance as possible and unplug it when not in use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, I was at someone's house. I was at my friend's house, and there was like, 10 kids in front of the TV, and it was a new mom at the school, to me at the school, and they were all watching the TV, and they had it not through a wire. They had it connected wirelessly, and it kept having problems. The movie kept dropping out, and I'm like, plug it in with the Ethernet or with the cable. So if you can connect it that way and run wires, that's even, you won't have a drop signal too.
So how do you shut it off? You just go to the settings and mode and.
Actually, I can tell you this because we're getting all this information together and some good downloads. But let me just get you exactly how to do it.
I can check the site. Yeah.
So first you ensure it's connected through the Ethernet cable or HDMI, because you can connect through HDMI. Go to menu, go to network settings, network type, and change it from wireless to wired. So you can use an HDMI cord too. And the way we watch movies at our house is I have the laptop connected to Ethernet. I plug it in with HDMI to either the large TV, screen, or we do a projector actually onto the wall. We just have like a little projector that I give my PowerPoint talks in, and we watch the movie that way.
Thank you very much.
I can put this in the, I'm going to put this in the chat for you on the Samsung. And if I don't have it on our website, I will probably get that up by the end of the week. We might not have this particular thing on here. I just put it in the chat. I can't use bullets though, so it looks like a lot of words, but it's there.
Okay. Haley, would you like to ask a question, and where are you from?
Yes, I'm from Long Island, Syosset, Plainview, and first I want to say thank you so much for keeping this in the headlights, Steve. It's so important. And Theodora, the love you come from shines out through your eyes, and it's really beautiful. Thank you. My questions are several. A while back, Debbie Persampier had spoken about painting her children's bedroom to keep the radiation out. Do you know what kind of paint that was, and anything about, do you put that on top of the present paint or under it, or what?
Yeah, and I'm sure that she had some expertise in doing that and did measuring. So that's probably a kind of shielding paint where the wireless radiation can't go through it. And if you do have a space, like some people will do their bedrooms, and it can go right on top. But then of course you have to, it's black actually, unless they have new colors now, or they have colors, but it's, and then you cover that up. But you only want to do that if you have measuring done. And also you have to make sure that you have shielding all over. So on your windows as well, because it can come in through the windows. And if you do have a shielded room, don't bring your cell phone in it or have any wireless devices in that shielded room, because it becomes like a Faraday cage. It becomes like you're surrounded in metal almost. Some people also use, this is extra strength aluminum foil, which I had to use in a room in my home when I was in condos, and I had a wall and someone was on the other side of the wall with a Wi-Fi router, and like they probably had like a number of wireless devices there. But again, I measured, and that kept it from coming into my space. And
Shashi,
Safe Living Technologies has that.
Shashi, would you like to ask a question, and where are you from?
I'm from New York, and my question is, do these electromagnetic radiations have effect on children? Little children are given these toys which are all so much, wireless connections. And in adults, are the neurodegenerative diseases related to excess exposure or use of these devices?
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up, because children are more vulnerable to wireless radiation. I'll start with children for several reasons. One, the wireless radiation penetrates deeper and more intensely into their bodies compared to an adult with the same device, up to 2 to 3 times into their brain, up to 10 times into the bone marrow of their skull. And also the radiation is can have more of an impact because they're younger, their brains are still developing. So as you know, the younger the brain, the more more indifferent impacts that can happen, and even later in life that you might not even be aware of, especially pregnancy as well. And the other thing I didn't mention was the eyes. Children's eyes are not fully developed. And just like their brains are not fully myelinated, their eyes are not fully developed. And there is not just wireless radiation, but the blue light, which can impact their underdeveloped eyes. It's not till they're in their 20s that they actually develop as much protection as adults do in terms of the blue light. So that said, there is research that shows impacts during pregnancy and to younger brains, which also are more conductive because there's actually more water in the brains of mammals that are younger. There has been recommendations by over a dozen governments that you should reduce wireless radiation to children. The American Academy of Pediatrics has recommendations on reducing cell phone radiation and keeping like iPads and all these devices that kids are using now off their bodies and on airplane mode. They talk about not streaming wirelessly, like you have a child who wants to watch a video. Don't give them the iPad or the cell phone to stream a video on. Have it be pre-downloaded on the device with the device on airplane mode. You can turn iPads on airplane mode, keep it on a table, use an Ethernet cord within a special adapter. There's research that showed damage to the brain, especially in animal studies. So I can give you a link. I'll put a link in the chat when he's asking the next question to find out more information on that. And I'm going to talk tomorrow morning, and I'll talk more about kids and show you imaging of children with various devices. This is what brought me into the issue, was kids and wireless and impacts to the brain. I think it's one of the most important issues related to this is the nervous system impacts.
Mandy, would you like to ask a question, and where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Long Island. I was just wondering about solar panels, if you other people asked that too in the chat. Solar panels on the top of your house.
Yeah, so I know that with solar panels, there's a few issues. One is that, and again, I'm in the Maryland area, so I don't know what's going on in your community, but in some communities you can't get a utility meter unless it's a smart meter. It has to be a smart meter with a solar panel. So that is an issue that needs to be addressed. A lot of the things I'm going to raise now are issues that have to be addressed at the federal and regulatory levels. And the other issue is harmonics from when it transitions from the solar power into electricity that you can use. So some people use filters, and that is an ever-changing issue that I don't have the most up-to-date information on, but people who I know who work on this issue who have solar panels have special filters that they've gotten in order to deal with the harmonics, which basically means the electricity in the home. Dirty electricity is another word that's often used.